conscience. Can't roll with the nonsense. Don't mistake the cover of the book for its contents. I might show you kindness, swim with the piranhas. Things that we forget tend to come back and remind us. Like we all have a past we want to put behind us. Designed to be good, but evil always seems to find us. A man can only change the things he acknowledges. Plus his heat is flame, but skills over politics won't be the same. What really has me stressing out, the gyms are closed, so I can't get this aggression out. Before we get the promises, there must be offenses. The Bill Gates of hell, both prevail against us. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. Say my prayers. Thank God for blessing me. My life's an open book. Could that be why they're testing me? Maybe everything I do is done out of necessity. Stock is on the rise. I think you should invest in me. It's not strange. I'm money like blockchain. Except the things in life that I cannot change. Chant down Babylon. Payback is coming. I ain't LeBron James. You thought I came back for nothing? The game is canceled in the blink of an eyelash. Flow is sick. Grab your N95 mask. The new normal, it gets even scarier. All black and white, there is no gray area. Plain as day, we got the whole package, baby. Competition, their rhymes are all average. And that's my 16, nothing else to say, y'all. 5G raps, find me under the radar.
What's goody? Shalom, brothers and sisters, and welcome this afternoon to another edition of Maccabees TV. It is your brother, Priest Dan, Lines of Israel, in the building with y'all this afternoon, this beautiful afternoon on the East Coast. Now it's about 3:30 p.m. And I have a good one today, man. I haven't had my brother on the channel in a long time, so it's my honor, my pleasure to have this brother on the channel. This is a good brother, and we're going to talk about everything this afternoon. But the first thing that we have to do, as always, family, is to make sure if you are in the building that you hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button, so that the algorithm could trigger more people to get notifications. We already know how this YouTube thing goes. When you speak truth, your channel gets shadow banned, you get censored, you get all that good stuff. So make sure that you hit the thumbs up button and show Priest Daniela, show Maccabees TV some love, and show my guest, Brother Ron Dalton, some love. So without further ado, brothers and sisters, let's get right on into it. I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest on. For those of you brothers and sisters that have been living under a rock and don't know who this brother is, I am going to allow him to introduce himself to the people and give a little background about some of the things that he has been doing in the Israelite community over the years. So, Brother Ron, you can take it away, man.
Yeah, my name is Ron Dalton Jr., the author of the book Hebrews to Negroes and the movie Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, the second movie Hebrews to Negroes 2, Revelation, the Age of Awakening, the Curses of Israel documentary series, which Amazon recently banned from being streamed to the four corners of the earth. And then also I'm working on the Message miniseries. I'm working on the Curses of Israel Part 3, because we already did Part 1 and Part 2. That's what Amazon banned. And then Hebrews to Negroes 3, Sound the Alarm. I'm doing conferences in different states, Zoom conferences now since things have been shut down because of COVID-19. And I got a YouTube channel, Hebrews to Negroes TV, aka Moses Levi, and I'm on Instagram under the name Hebrews_TO_Negroes, Hebrew to Negroes, Hebrew_TO_Negroes. And I've been doing this. I mean, I published my first book in 2014, so that's how long, I've been putting this truth out since 2014. I've been awoke since about 2011. So people are still waking up every day. So the books are still being read, and the movies are still being bought or streamed on the platforms that we can get it on. The ones that we can't get it on, you know why we can't get it on, like Vudu and Netflix and stuff like that. So. But yeah, I got and we'll talk about this some more, but I got a podcast show next week, Wednesday, July 22nd, 9:00 Eastern time PM with Dr. Mary Lee live podcast show, and her co-host is Nick Cannon's father, James Cannon. And so that's going to be a treat. because he's one of the co-hosts. And as people, if you do the research on Nick Cannon, you'll see that he had a grandfather that was like his father to him as well. And he passed away, I think 4 years ago. And so when you Google it, you might think, oh, wait a minute, Nick Cannon's dad died. No, that was his grandfather. But he has a father that's still alive. And I think he has a mother that's still alive too. But yeah, well, that's next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern time, on July 22nd. I'm gonna put a video on my YouTube channel promoting it, but I already posted it on Instagram. I already sent Daniel Allah the information, but we're excited because we got to educate the celebrities that are waking up to the truth. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're the ones that we don't have any. We're not bound by a lot of fear, and we've already lost a lot of stuff for this truth. So you can't take no more than what you could already take from it. That's like I say with child support. They can only take so much. The child support system can only take so much. They got to give you something. They got to leave you something, and they can't take from you what you don't have. So if you're not making $1 million, they can't take a couple thousand from you. So so with us, the little guys, we don't have a lot of money. So you can't take a lot of stuff from us. You can't shut us down because we still have a voice, and we're still moving.
Right. So we're gonna come back to that whole thing about the interview shortly. I want to ask you something. So you've put out a lot of films and documentaries, et cetera, et cetera. Have you been? You don't have to say who. Have you been contacted by anybody that's in the society that's famous, that's of renown in the society, that came across your films and they contacted you one way or another? Like, have you been speaking to people behind the scenes?
Yeah, I can say their names. I don't care. I mean, if you don't care, I don't care.
I don't care either. I just hope they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So Anthony Joshua, the UK boxer that I think he's the heavyweight champ now, he reached out to me about 2 years ago on Instagram on a DM, and we conversed for about an hour. Who else? Amari Stoudemire reached out to me on Instagram, and then of course Brandon T. Jackson. He knows who I am. He can't deny that. And then who else? It's a couple of celebrities that follow and make comments on my page, like Billy. Is that Willie D from the Ghetto Boys?
Yeah.
And somebody said Big Boy, and one person said, I think one of the Wild Deep guys commented. I don't know if it was Prodigy or if it was Havoc, but they said a lot of people from the United Kingdom and other Hebrew rappers, they say, man, you know how many celebrities be commenting on your page and just be dialoguing and you don't know about it? I said, no, I don't know. They be like, man, he was like, you don't follow the comments and look at the timeline, but he was like, man, I be seeing that stuff, man. He's like, it be some celebrities that follow you behind the scenes. They be watching, they be commenting and liking your stuff. You just don't see it, And I said, well, I mean, I'm always promoting my stuff, and I'm always, talking about this and talking about that, and Daniel Allah, that we can't. It's like so hard to get support from just Black people in general, but even the Hebrew community, it's tough. You can't. It's hard to get that support.
What I want to talk on that real quick, because that's the point, and I've been stressing that a lot lately. When I hear an echo, I don't know if that's me or you. Let me just make sure.
That's my.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure we're good. No problem. I've been stressing on this a lot lately, right? Because I know you and I talk behind the scenes, and I know how much support you don't get for all the work that you put in, and how much of your personal finances and time and everything else that you sacrifice to put this information out, so that people on a mass level, and now you're saying even celebrities, are actually hearing about the Great Awakening, and that they're also learning and being educated about who they are. And it's kind of sad that, as we saw with Deshaun Jackson, as we see with Nick Cannon and others, they can't come out in the forefront and say anything. But it's a shame that behind the scenes, they wouldn't do more for you than just reach out, but they would actually ask or offer you how they can help. Even if they directly can't come to you and say, how can I help? They got friends, they got homies, they can send a proxy, you know what I'm saying, put some money in somebody else's hands. Like, listen, I want you to get that money to Ron Dalton because I see what he's over there doing. That's what these guys need to do. That's what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily need to be on the front lines the way that we're on the front lines. We have considered the cost. You know what I'm saying? And we already know there's a price to pay for what we do. And we've signed. This is what we signed up for. Some of them didn't sign up for it, but it would be nice to see them help you, help you more. And as you said, also, Israelites, stop asking you for, to send the movie for free and blah, blah, whatever, and actually support these endeavors. I hear so many Hebrews say, oh, how come Tariq Nasheed didn't have Israelites in Hidden Colors? Well, why we want to be in Hidden Colors for? Why don't we just do our own movie like what you're doing, like what Zahab is doing and others? Like, I don't understand that mentality. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I don't see why I don't understand why these celebrities they contact me on DM. You know, I mean, I recently I got a LinkedIn acceptance from Amari Stoudemire, and I was like, I usually don't be on LinkedIn, but I'm like, you know, I don't understand. Maybe it's an automated generated request, but I was like, well, would it be an automated generated request from Amari Stoudemire to ask me to be his LinkedIn friend? And I'm like, well, is it an agent? I mean, what is this? What's going on here? You know, so, you know, these guys that contact me and I've talked to on the phone or Instagram, you would think that they would say, I support what this brother's doing. I can't personally speak out and say certain things because I'll be hanged out to dry and crucified, but I can get the money to somebody else to support this guy. Because I'm always talking about support. You know, I got like, I think about 40 some thousand followers on Instagram. I remember one time I asked a friend of mine, we was eating at a cafe. He's like, Ron, you should ask your followers to donate $1. Just tell them to donate $1. You know, and he's like, sometimes I'll be seeing your posts and you got 6,000 likes and you got 100 comments and people are going back and forth on your thing. I said, just ask them for $1. And I said, okay. I said, I did it before. I'll do it again. I asked for $1. And so one time I asked for $5. And of course, I'm checking my Cash App and PayPal. And shoot, at the end of 24 hour span, maybe $50, maybe $50. That's it. Because you know, you gotta understand that black people, when we ask for $1, if they got more than $1, matter of fact, we all got more. We should all have more than $1 of change in our car. But if you ask black people for $1, they're gonna give you $1. Even though they got more than $1, they're gonna give you $1. They ain't gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna give this brother $10. Because I know $10. If I lost $10 today on the street, I ain't gonna trip. You know, I spend money with Gentiles every day of the week, and I'll never complain. But then here comes his brother. He's sincere. Everything he says he's going to do, everything he says he's coming out with, eventually he comes out with it. He's a man. He's a man of his word. He's still fighting in the forefront for Yah. If we wake up the Israelites, I'm gonna support this guy. And it's so hard because when you ask people to help, and these people know they are. Like I contacted Dr. Mumbi. Dr. Mumbi has the Dr. Mumbi channel. She's connecting with African Americans and Africans. And I said, hey, can you promote my trailer on one of your YouTube channels? Just show my trailer. It's a movie about the Hebrew Israelites, about us being the Israelites. I even talk about the Kikuyu tribe from Kenya being the Israelites. Your same tribe that you come from in Kenya. And she was like, no. She's like, nope, the Most High did not give me the revelation or the word or the vision or he didn't tell me to do this. So if I didn't get instructions from the Most High, I'm not doing it. And I said, dang, well, how long does it take? You know, consult with the Most High, pray to the Father. Let me know in a week or two what he says, because at the end of the day, I'm waking up the lost sheep of Israel. I'm waking up the people that have been lied to for years. I said, you know what? The Most High, the Bible says that we should know the truth. The truth shall set us free. I said, should we not know the truth, or should we be deceived? And so eventually, after about 6 months, I got a DM or an email from their digital marketing team. It was like, great news, we got a digital marketing team. To have anything advertised with us, just email us and we'll tell you what the prices are. So then I emailed them back and say, how much does it cost me to show my trailer on your YouTube channel? And they text me back $1,000. And I said, wow, $1,000 just for me to show a 2-minute trailer in the beginning of your YouTube videos. And remember, a lot of these YouTubers, they make the famous ones that have like 1 million followers or 500,000 followers. They're putting out videos every day. So just one of my videos on their post is going to be pushed down the list after about 6 days. It'll be like number 7. And so these are the kind of things. And then they said, well, and then she said, well, contact Dr. Phil from the Vice Show, the African Diaspora News Channel. And I said, okay. So I sent him an email. I try to contact him every way possible. And no return, no phone calls, no emails, no DMs, no nothing. You know, and then I see him interviewing Bishop Nathaniel from IUIC. And I'm like, dang, I say, all these people I'm reaching out to try to get the promotion of my movie out there, get the word of my movie out there. They just either they ignore the emails, they ignore the DMs, they ignore the text messages, or they just don't see it. You know, even like, and I was telling somebody the other day, I had contacted the manager of the Breakfast Club. And I also, prior to that, contacted the assistant manager and said, hey, how much does it cost to market it and advertise with the Breakfast Club, iHeartRadio? They was like, oh, well, these are our prices, and it's $1,000 for 15 seconds. It's $1,500 for $1,500 for 30 seconds. And I said, what does that get me? She said, DJ Envy or Charlamagne the God will read off your advertisement for 30 seconds on air. You just got to write down and write down what you want them to say, and they read it promoting your movie. And I said, okay. So then the manager called me and was like, hey, I just got your message. How can I help you, sir? I said, my name is Ron Dalton. I'm a filmmaker, book author. I want to do some advertising with you guys. I said, how much does it cost? He told me the same thing, $1,500, $1,000. I said, I'm ready. I said, okay. I said, I'm ready to make payment. I was like, if I got to pay $1,500 to have DJ Envy or Charlamagne the God read 30 seconds talking about my movie and where to find it, how to get it, what it's about, then I'm going to do that. And so he was like, he's like, all right, well, send me your media press kit, send me your trailers, send me the links to your Amazon, all this stuff. Because he even looked on there. He's like, let me just check it real quick. He checked it. He's like, oh wow. He's like, yeah, it's on Amazon. It's got 4.5 stars. It got 400 people commented already. Some good stuff about it. He's like, oh, you got books too? Oh yeah, you got a book too. I was like, wow, you're doing big things. He's like, I'm assuming this is directed towards the African American community, right? I said, yes. And he was like, send me all your stuff, and then I'll get back with you. So after a couple of weeks, nobody returned my email. So then I said, man, what's going on? So then I called and left messages. Nobody answered my emails. So then I had a sister of mine, a black girl. She said, well, maybe you got to have somebody else call on your behalf. Maybe don't answer for female answers the phone. So I said, okay. So I got on three-way. She called. I kept quiet. And when she called the Breakfast Club, she got through. She's like, yeah, I'm calling on behalf of a client of mine, Ron Dalton. He submitted some stuff to you guys a couple weeks ago, trying to advertise and make payment so he can get his stuff advertised on Breakfast Club. They were like, oh yeah, we got his emails. We know who he is. Yeah. And then she was like, well, what's the problem? What's going on here? He's ready to make payment. He's ready to move forward. You guys should want money. I mean, who doesn't want $1,500 for 30 seconds? And so they were like, well, it's a complicated process. We got to understand that if DJ Envy says no, then Charlamagne if Charlamagne says yes, I'll do it, then it has to go to the producers. And I said, the producers are the final say so? They said yes. And I said, so who are the producers? What's their names? He said, I can't tell you that. She's like, can we get an email? She's like, no, I can't give you an email. Can I get a phone? No, can't get a phone number. I said, well, then when will you let us know if the producers are going to say yes or no to me being able to do business with you guys for the movie? And he was like, well, I'll get back with you. I'll let you know. And the producers are the ones that, even if Charlamagne and DJ Envy say yes and they agree to do it, the producers can look at it and say no. And that's what I've been getting for a lot of distribution companies. When I submitted my film to Voodoo rejected it. When I tried to do some marketing advertising with the local movie theaters in Detroit, the Star Theater, the AMC Theater, the Regal Theaters, because you can market your movie with paid advertising before the movie comes on. So before the movie comes on, it's still kind of dim, but you can still see the screen, and people are advertising dental offices, doctors' offices, whatever type of business you got. And so I called this company, major company, and this is before COVID-19. And I said, well, I want to do some advertising with you guys. What's the prices? And he said, oh, let me send it to you in an email. He sent it to me, PDF. And I said, okay, I want to do these 2 theaters. He's like, oh, you must be trying to attract African American population. I see. I said, yes, I know exactly where the theaters are where Black people go to in Detroit, in Michigan. And he was like, oh wow, good choice. And I said, well, how much does it cost? He said, well, if you want this many people seeing your ad in these theaters, you can choose how many days a week, and then this will tell you how many million views you get during a month. And I said, wow, a million views? He's like, yeah, it's like 26 theaters and 26 auditoriums in each theater. So you got to think, like, how many times do people are watching movies throughout the day? How many times a week for the whole 30 days of the month? And I said, great. I said, I'm gonna have 1 million eyeballs seeing about the movie Hebrews to Negroes. I said, let's do the contract. Let's make payment. He was like, hold on. He was like, I said, okay, well, first you need to send me your video. So I went to the studio, did the video in 30 seconds. And not 30 seconds, but the video was 30 seconds long. That was a requirement. I did a video, shot it to him. He was like, great, thanks. He's like, good job. He's like, it's good, nice video. He's like, I got to send it to corporate. I said, okay. He sent it to corporate within less than 24 hours. He said, "I'm sorry, unfortunately, sir, we will not be able to do business with you and show your video ad because he said it's socially, racially, and politically." He said something about socially, religiously, politically charged. Is the movie basically will just cause basically in common words, basically was saying that the movie will cause an uprising, a revolution of the mind.
Of course it will, because the people that call themselves Jews are going to be exposed for not being. Of course it will. Go ahead, bro.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And the crazy thing is that when I did the trailer, it wasn't like a trailer, it was like a 30-minute commercial, 30-second commercial. I didn't put Israel in there. I didn't put Jews in there. I didn't put Judaism in there. I just said, if you identify yourself as Black, African American, Negro, colored, then you owe it to yourself to understand your true biblical history. Check out the movie Hebrew Singles. Check out that highly anticipated movie Hebrew Singles Wake Up Black America on Vimeo On Demand, Amazon, WWW Negro Network, and that was it. Bam, that was it. I had like some slaves running across the field. I had some, just regular slave histories type of stuff, and that was it. But that was still enough. Maybe the ending where it said Hebrew Singles Wake Up Black America. Just those terms alone was like, nah. They made them like, nah, we can't let this get out because a million views a month, and he's willing to pay $700-800 a month. We can't let that happen. And this is how they control things, because you know what? When you try to do business with the billboards, because they got billboards, like out front, different things. And if you look at it, because I sat down with an out front employee at the office, the main office in downtown Detroit, and they showed me all the billboards in Detroit, the small ones and the big ones that's off the freeway. And they told me that the big companies, they usually have the big billboards on lock for like a year or two. And so that when they have a performer coming in to perform at the MGM or the Motor City Casino or anywhere, they already had that locked, so they could put that performer up, the dates, when they're performing, how much is the tickets, how to get tickets, Ticketmaster, and they had that on lock. But they have smaller billboards that you can get, like $250, $500 a month, maybe $1,000 a month. But even with those, these companies, they know how to, they got money, they got big time money, so they're able to spend money on marketing advertising, because it's all about people's eyeballs seeing it and people's ears hearing it. And I'm gonna tell you a story. I paid like $1,500 to run a radio ad on the two most popular hip hop R&B channels in Detroit, Michigan, and in the gospel channel. So 3 of them. And 105.9, 97.9, and 102.7 praise. And I did the same thing, gave them like a 30-second voiceover and a 10-second voiceover. They did the voiceover. The lady who was like the digital marketing lady, she says, "Okay, Ryan, everything's good. You made your payment. This is the schedule when your stuff's gonna be aired on the radio and this and that." And I was like, "Okay, all right." She's like, "I'm excited. This is great. I love your material. We all need to know this and all this other stuff." I said, "Yeah, I'm great. I'm excited too." So then the first day that it ran, I think it was a 10-second. The 10-second ran first, and the 30-second runs later, in the same day. So when the first day that it aired, the lady called me. She says, "Oh, Ron." I said, "What's wrong now?" She says, "We have a problem." I said, "What's the problem?" I said, "I paid you." I said, "I'm just like any other customer. I paid you your price. I gave you 30 seconds, and you guys did the voiceover. You said it was good yourself." She said, "Yeah, but everybody started complaining." I said, "Who started complaining?" "Christians, Jews, everybody started complaining." I said, "What they complaining about?" I said, "I simply said that we need to know what's our true biblical identity." She's like, "Yeah, but it's a sensitive topic, and we got people that's Jewish and Muslim and Arab." Yeah, so I was like, "So what I got to do?" He said, "Well, the people in corporate told me to take it down." I said, "So y'all took it down?" She's like, "Yeah, we can't run it now. We can't run it until you change the verbiage." I said, "What do I got to change the verbiage to?" I said, "You read it yourself. Does it seem like it's anti-Semitic or anti-Muslim?" And she was like, No, it doesn't, Ron. I don't understand, Ron. This is a black lady." She's like, Just change some things around, Ron, so you can just finish this out and you can get your money's worth. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your money." And I said, "Fine." So I changed the verbiage around, and they ran it. And I was disappointed at that point. I was like, I'm not dealing with you guys anymore. And that's how you know that the so-called powers to be, they control marketing and advertising through TV, radio, podcasts, billboards, movies. They control everything. This is the reason why probably, I mean, people, Hebrews Negroes been out for over a year now, but a lot of black people have not heard about Hebrews Negroes. But because of the Nick Cannon incident, almost every black person on the planet Earth, in the United Kingdom, in Africa, in America, in the Caribbean, they've heard about the Nick Cannon thing just in one day.
And that's the point. Because see, they have control, and that's the point that we've been pressing home, that they have control over the media. So they're not allowing you to air your movie where your trailer for your movie where a lot of eyes could see it, much less your movie. So they don't have control of a lot of these celebrities. Some of them are rogue. Some of them, the programming gets scrambled and they wake up and come to their senses and put the word out. So they're trying to use Deshaun Jackson, Nick Cannon, and others, man, and they're giving them a public embarrassment, spanking them in public to make sure other celebrities don't do that as well. That's what they're doing. That's like the last bastion that we have is a lot of these celebrities, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to close that door now as well. I mean, you still have a lot of them that will watch in private. That's why it goes back to what I said. Now I kind of want to move on. It goes back to what I said before. They have to get behind people like you, even if it's through a proxy. If you can't do it, and if you have your accountants, right, watching your money to make sure, you know what I'm saying, watching where you're donating money, because they have all that shit in place, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I was to just up and give $20,000 to somebody, they might be like, well, why'd you give $20,000 to Ron Dalton? He's with Hebrews the Negro. So they might have to give that money to somebody as a proxy to give to you. If that's what you have to do as a celebrity, then that's what you have to do. But you need to do something to help us proliferate the word, because they're trying to every door. They can't stop this thing, but they're trying to shut every door in our face. Now, what I want to do is I kind of want to segue into what you were talking about before, because we got some other stuff to talk about, because you got some people that's running from you, you know what I'm saying? You got some dude that talk a lot of stuff in the conscious community that's running from you, Ron. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to put some sauce on that too. But first, family, I want to share the screen real quick, right? And Ron, I want you to speak on this. I'm gonna share the screen, and I'm going to where did I put it? Here it is. Okay. Yeah, hide, boom. So what I want to do, family, this is coming up, right? This is coming up right here. This is a show that Ron is going to be on. Now, if you look where it says co-host right here, right, you see a man by the name of James Cannon. That's the father of Nick Cannon. So Ron is going to be on a panel of a show where Nick Cannon's father is going to be on that show. So this is a very, very important show. So you guys, here's the flyer. Ron, I want you to speak a little bit on it. One of the things that I want you to address within you speaking about this, man, there are a lot, I know you have your own questions and everything that you want to ask, but we're being given now this whole thing where I don't know necessarily if he's controlling his Instagram and his Twitter, or if somebody's doing it for him. But the posts that came out like about 2 days ago now were borderline suicidal. So, you know, we definitely need to talk to his father about that, because I'm sure his father talks to him and see what the brother's state of mind is, because that's not our intention. Like nobody's trying to, you know what I'm saying, like purposefully like demean or bash the brother. But we just want to see black men stand strong, like Colin Kaepernick did. Like, not be unapologetic. If you say you unapologetic, and Nick has said it on several occasions, if you say you unapologetic, then be unapologetic, or don't say nothing and support the people like myself, like you, that are unapologetic. But go ahead and speak about this upcoming event in a little more detail, and what some of the things you guys are going to be talking about on the show.
Yeah. So make a long story short, I've been pushing this for a long, pushing to try to break mainstream and just get some noise going. And so what happened was, this is just how the Most High moves. So a brother from Kingston, Jamaica, his name is Rohan. He hit me up on WhatsApp, and he said, I had a vision, and he said in the vision I asked the Most High, when will he wake up Israel? And the Most High told him to ask me to ask the Most High. And I said, what? I said, so the Most High told you to ask me, to ask him when we going, you know, to ask me to ask him. And I said, okay, well, I said, I thought that's what I've been doing. I've been waking up Israel. So I prayed, and I asked the Most High to show me what you need me to do. What else you need me to do to wake up Israel? I said, open the door, send me some help. You know, you see what's going on in with COVID-19 and things are going on with these celebrities. I said, how can more people get woken up to the truth. And so the next day, I'm driving over to my mother's house, and Dr. Mary Lee calls me, and I said hello, because I don't recognize the call ID, because it's a number that's never called me before. And she's like, hey Ryan, she's like, she says, I want to know if you could join us on a show, and where Nick Cannon's father, James Cannon, is the co-host. And I said, what? I said, James Cannon is the co-host, his father? She's like, yeah. And I said, what's the name of the show? She told me. I said, when is it? She says, next week, Wednesday. I said, wow. I said, consider it done. I will be there. I said, how long is it going to be? What do you want me to talk about? And she was like, well, Ron, she's like, I know you got your movies, your books. She was like, we have to educate our Black celebrities that are trying to stand up for the truth, that are getting shot down and crucified and hung to dry. We have to educate them and educate others that have a platform or a voice, but maybe scared to speak it. And just let them know that we support them, and there are people behind the scenes that look like us, that we have the scholarship, we have the academics, we can stand up for what we say. If we say that we're the Shemites and that being anti-Semite doesn't make any sense for us because we are Shemites, we can back it up. We can prove who the sons of Shem. We can prove who the Israelites are. We can even prove who they are. And so she was like, okay. She's like, well, we want to do this show, and we want to keep it rolling with maybe a series of like 2 or 3 more shows covering this topic. And I said, well, you know what? I said, you should also include B'nai Israel. I said, because he's good on the Spanish and Portuguese Inquisition and the Sephardic piece. The Sephardic piece, the Jews that were in Spain and Portugal. That's his forte. She said, I said, okay, well, give me his number, give me his headshot and his bio, and we can add him on there. And so that's how Benea got on there. So Benea, he has the Hidden Hebrews documentary that he has on YouTube. But yeah, so she lined it up. She added George Poole. She told me who he is because I wasn't familiar with him. But nevertheless, we're gonna be driving this conversation. And I asked her, I said, is Nick Cannon's father gonna relay what he heard to Nick Cannon? And she said, well, hopefully, I think he's going to be tuning in, or he should be tuning in. If he doesn't tune in, then he's definitely going to hear the replay or hear what is being told from his father, because we're going to give his father an earful. If he doesn't know a lot about the Israelite awakening, he's going to get an earful from what we got to say. So, yeah, so the flyer says, please share, because she wants the phone lines to be blown up. We want people listening. And I think there's a limit of 55 callers that can call in to ask questions. So we want people to ask questions. She said that there are going to be, I think, some Jewish rabbis are going to be listening, because I asked her, I said, are they going to be Jewish rabbis that's going to be tuning in? And she says, I think that we're trying to get some Jewish rabbis to tune in, because these guys are trying to educate Nick Cannon on Jewish history. And if they want to know real Israelite history, we don't care if they got a PhD and a doctorate in Hebrew studies from the University of Haifa in Israel or Oxford University. We don't care about any of that stuff. We can prove who we say we are. We can prove who they are too. I do that in my books. So I'm excited. I'm sure I've been spreading the word. So a lot of Israelites going to be tuning in, and we're gonna be ready, man. I'm gonna be ready. Benea's gonna be ready. I'm excited.
Can I give you a word of advice if I could?
Yeah.
I don't think that his father should reveal any private conversations they're having. We know that right now, publicly, they're trying to humiliate this brother, right? And so for whatever reason, he's going along with the go along, right? What I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily reflect how he really feels, but he's going along with the go along. So in other words, we shouldn't get on there and ask his father, well, does he really mean it when he says that he wants to be educated, or is he just doing it just to do it? Like, we need to more make it an educational moment for his father, an educational moment for the rabbis that are on there. And if we're going to ask questions about him specifically, I guess we just want to know what his mental state is like. But as far as anything private, as far as how he really feeling, does he really still stand by us being Semites or not? I think that's more or less something that he needs to say himself. I don't think his father should reveal whatever their private conversations were, because they're just waiting for a reason to pounce on this dude again. And we don't know what happened behind the scenes, why he relented. Like, they could have threatened his family, his wife, his children. Like, we don't know, because these people are evil. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. They're evil, and he has a lot to lose. We don't have a lot to lose. You see what I'm saying? So, and we've considered the cost before we do what we do. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different for him. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that we just, you know what I'm saying, when you guys are doing that interview, that we tread a fine line, not as to reveal. I know you already noticed. I'm just putting this out there for the people, that we try to fine line so as not to reveal secrets, anything that he may be saying in private to people, you know what I'm saying, in support of what we're doing still. At this point, if he doesn't want to say it publicly, then we shouldn't reveal that publicly. We should just stick to proving who we are, talking to his father, and things of that nature. That's just my opinion, bro. That's all.
Okay.
Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? Like, it's okay if you don't agree.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Other people have told me, like, they gave me some advice because we're now this is something else that happened. The brother.
One second, Ron. Family, get them likes up. Come on, man, and share the video. Y'all see we going there. We got some more good stuff coming up. So get them likes up, family. Let's go. Go ahead, Ron.
So I had a brother. He reached out to a lot of people are reaching out to these celebrities on my behalf. They're emailing the Breakfast Club. They're calling them, leaving messages. They're tagging people. I mean, I'm always seeing people tagging Ice Cube and all these celebrities. They're tagging them left and right. Snoop Dogg. And, I don't know if they look at their DMs or they check their Twitter messages or anything like that. But a brother reached out to somebody in CNN about me and in light of all the stuff that's going on. And the guy from CNN called him back and said, I'm returning your call. How can I help you? So the brother told the CNN guy about me. And he was like, all right, well, let me look at his material, look at stuff, and then let me see what what they want to do, or maybe Don Lemon can interview him on his podcast show, because Don Lemon has a podcast show. But that's just something, that a little side thing I want to throw in that, because I heard about that like 2 days ago. So, and I know CNN is tricky. I know they're very tricky.
Run right now. Check this out, right? Unexpected. I'm unexpected, right? You sitting in that nice chair, so that chair about to get real hot right now. You ever heard of something called the elevator pitch? You heard an elevator pitch, right? You get in the elevator, and the building has 10 floors, and you're on the elevator with a millionaire, and you got between the 10th floor and the first floor, which is probably only like a minute or so, to pitch your business and to get them to be interested in your business. So we're about to make that chair a little hot right now. Wait, hold on. You're on CNN right now. You know that they're not going to give you an hour to explain yourself as to proving that we're the Israelites. So I'm asking you, within a 5-minute frame, it's now 4:10 Eastern Standard Time. I
ain't ready to do that right now. I already look. What's that guy's name on Rock Newman? Rock Newman wanted me on. Well, his assistant producer wanted me on the show, but he only wanted to give me, I think, 5 to 10 minutes on the show, and I was like, no. I said, if I want to be on Rock Newman's show, I want the same amount of time that you give Anthony Browder and everybody else. I said, I don't want to sit there for 5 minutes and try to rush it. But yeah, if I go on CNN, it ain't. I'm gonna tell them, if I'm gonna sit there for 5 minutes, no. I said I need to sit down there for at least 30 minutes to talk to you guys, so I don't feel like I gotta what I gotta say to make it count. Because I know they. Huh?
You can't in 5 minutes. Where would you start as a researcher and a scholar? Where would you start? Are you going to start more with DNA, or are you going to start with archaeology and anthropology, and proving that we're Israelites? Where would you start?
Oh man, you could start with linguistics. You can start with ancient traditions and customs that are practiced by the people in Africa, that the Ashkenazim and Sephardim practice. You can talk about DNA. DNA is a hard-hitting one, because DNA alone, the stuff that I know, will shut this down completely. And then in regards to the identifying the sons of Shem, and were the Shemites, were they white, or were the Shemites brown skinned people? That alone too would just shut them down and say, well, he just proved who the Shemites are. He just proved who the Hamites are. And so different ways that I can attack the angle and prove that we're the Israelites. Then I can flip it and prove how they are not the Israelites, just by proving who they really are in terms of biblical identity. And that doing that in 5 minutes, I would have to choose which route that I want to take in terms of DNA, craniometry, the angles of the jaw, the tooth analysis, the linguistics, the word switches, the changes of language over time, the migration routes, the simple fact that we know that the Israelites intermarried with a lot of the Hamite women, like women of Ham, for over 1,000 years. I mean, that in itself proves that we're the Israelites, because you don't see any maternal DNA of people of Egyptian women, Cushite women, Canaanite women. You don't see that in the Ashkenaz and Sephardic Jews today. So if they're really the Israelites, they should have some evidence of maternal DNA coming from Africa, because if you look at the people that the Israelites intermixed with, it was the women of Shem and the women of Ham. They weren't mixing in the Old Testament with the people in Scandinavia, Norway, Finland, Germany, Prussia, Central Asia, Spain. They weren't doing that. They were mixing. The Bible clearly tells you who they were having children with. And this is the reason why the Bantus people in West Africa, including us, we have maternal DNA types that coincide with different Hamitic women or different Hamitic nations, because we had children with these Hamitic women, and we had children with Shemitic Israelite women as well. So that's evident in our maternal DNA. Our maternal DNA is just not one particular maternal DNA, because the Israelites they got busy with women of other nations, even though people might say they weren't supposed to. But that's one of the things that's an easy no-brainer. And like I did with Rabbi Rosenberg, I asked Rabbi Rosenberg the question: were the ancient Egyptians black? Were the Cushites black? Were the Canaanites black? Were the daughters or sons of Ham, were they black? Let's answer the question, yes or no. And by now, everybody should understand and acknowledge and know that the ancient Egyptians were not white people. You'll be like living in another planet if by now, if you identify as a scholar, that you believe that the ancient pharaohs of Egypt and the ancient Egyptians were Caucasian people. So that, in a sense, it's really ridiculous that in the year 2020 that we still have to argue about Jesus being white and the Israelites being black or white. We shouldn't have to argue about that anymore.
Understood. All right. Well, that was a good answer, definitely. Because at some point things are going to come to a head, right? Now, at some point, some of these rabbis are going to have to come forward, and it's not going to just simply be like you're just going to tell us that we can't say we're Jews. We want you to show us that we're not Jews. That's what we want you to show it. You know what I'm saying? And we can put whatever the stakes are. The stakes could be. Just prove to us that we're not Jews, and we're going to prove to you that we are, and you're not. And the scholarship is in our favor. It's just as simple as that. You just have to know where to look and how to go research those things, right? So
that's why they don't debate us. That's why no matter how many times I challenge any rabbi, I even talk to Jews. I talk to Jews sometimes. They'll DM me, and I would tell them, like, get your top rabbi, get your top scholar. I don't care who it is, and they'll send me like, you need to debate her. I say, well, then have her contact me. I don't care. She's a professor of Hebrew studies at this college and Israeli studies. I said, have her contact me, set up a live debate in front of everybody, and she wants a team, and I have a team, and so be it. We will destroy them. I mean, but like Sonetta and Polite, they don't.
That's coming up. That's coming. That's coming up. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there in 1 second, bro. We're gonna get there in 1 second, real quick, right? Before we get to that, because that's gonna be fun, right? Before we get to that, do you want to go ahead and share the trailer for one of your films? Remember, I had asked you to look for it. Why don't you go ahead and share your screen, and for the people that might be just coming across you for the first time, which if you're an Israelite, shame on you, because brother has done a lot of work. But why don't you go ahead and share a little bit of your one of your trailers or something for your films, and then we'll just go from there.
All right. Okay.
Family, while he's doing that, get them likes up now. Let's go. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all. Let me get this information up in here too.
All right.
Family, in case anybody wants to show some love. Okay, there it is. Boom. Let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Hey Ron, there's no sound on that. Now when you share when you share your screen, there's a little box at the bottom that says share with audio. So why don't you stop? Let's remove that. Share your screen again. When you click the share button, there'll be a little box at the bottom that'll say share with audio. So you want to make sure you share with audio.
Share with audio. So okay, I click share stream.
Look at the bottom left. You'll see something that says share with audio.
Look
You
for
see
the
it?
share audio checkbox on the next window. Okay. Okay, I see it. I see it.
Yep.
All right. Good.
There you go. All right, let's do it.
We're the only people that fight against who we really are. And I ask people, I say, go get your DNA test. When they get their DNA test, it comes back identical to the very same people they try to run from. The very same history of slavery from West Africa that we don't want to connect to. And it shows you it's your DNA that comes from Nigeria, from Benin, from Togoland, from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from Cameroon, from the Congo. And you have to ask yourself, is the Blackfoot Indian in Nigeria? Is the Seminole Indian in Cameroon? The answer is no.
All praise to the Most High, man. So just tell them real quick, since we just played that, tell the people real quick where they can go and watch that. Where can they go and check out the whole documentary?
All right. So that is the Message miniseries, and I'm going to be launching it. Let me see. We got like 11 days before the end of July. I'm trying to drop it. I said it's going to be dropping in July, so look for it either the end of July or early August on Vimeo on demand. Vimeo on demand. You just go. Basically, this is the way you get to it, because some people have trouble with Vimeo. If you go to Roku, and you search for the Vimeo app. You search for the Vimeo app and you download it. Then what's going to happen is it's going to ask you to log in. If you want to see the movie, you're going to have to log in, because otherwise it'll only let you see the trailers. So to log in, you got to have a Vimeo account. So you got to make a free Vimeo account and then log in. And then when you do that, then when you go to search for the movie on Vimeo on demand, you type in the words Hebrews to Negroes. And then you'll see all the movies that I've put on Vimeo on demand. And then you can click on that one called The Message. And you can click on the Curses of Israel, Hebrews to Negroes, and you can watch it that way. If you go to your computer, you got to go to www.vimeo.com/on-demand. And then when you get to that page, you go to the keywords box in the upper right corner, and you type in Hebrews to Negroes, TONEGROES. And then that'll give you all the list of movies that I got on Vimeo. And that's how you can watch it when I drop it the end of July, the beginning of August. And I'll try to put it on Amazon, but they're probably going to say no. But nevertheless, on my website, www.thenegronetwork.com, I will eventually have the DVD, because they can't stop us from making MP4 or MOV files and putting it on a DVD and packaging it up in a case and then shipping it. They can't stop that.
That's right. Hey, listen, man. All right, let's switch topics for a second, right? So now, for you brothers and sisters that don't know Brother Ron is a scholar. Brother's very highly educated, very well-rounded in the information he deals with, right? Now, we know for the last, I'm going to say let's just call it since about 2012, up to now it's 2020, right? There's been war between the Israelite community and the conscious community. I'm talking about intellectual war. It was going on before that, but really it ramped up around 2012, right? Now, These guys talk all this stuff about how they're scholars and Israelites are not scholars. We don't read books. We don't know no information, nothing, right? I called, yes, I know, I'm about to talk about you. You have all them Amon-Ra Negroes and them Garfield people and all them other dudes that talk all this stuff about DNA and science and all that stuff, right? I called Sonetta and I put him on the phone with you, Ron, and Sonetta was not trying to get you up on his platform. You offered to debate Garfield. You offered to debate the Amon-Ra Squad. You offered to debate Polite and all the rest of them dudes that talk all this stuff about science, and they all ran. You want to talk about that? Go ahead and talk about that.
So yeah, I debated. I offered to debate them when I was in New York, but with you and Brother Saab. And so we got Sonetta on the phone, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen." And you know, he got my number. He has my email. I called him one time, and he was like, "Who's this?" I said, "Ron Dalton." I said, "Well, when we gonna have that debate?" He said, "Oh, brother, I've been so busy, man. I don't know, man. I gotta see, man. I gotta see." And I said, well, you know, call somebody right now. He was like, "Well, yeah, I don't think he's ready." I said, I can have one of my guys defeat 3 of your guys. And I said, "Really?" I said, "I can have 3 Israelites, and your one guy can defeat all 3 of us with all our information." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, brother, you don't want that. Trust me." And he was like, "Well, let me go call one of them right now." He tried to call Jabari. He tried to call 3 Kemetic guys. Every last one he called, nobody answered the phone. I don't know what they were doing that day. I said, maybe they ignoring your calls. Maybe they're just busy. They're working. I don't know. I said, so he was like, "Well, you know, I'll try to see if I can make it happen, but I can't make no promises because I can't get my guys on the phone." And so on Instagram, people have been like, when Polite was about to debate that pastor, I forgot his name, that pastor, the Christian apologetic. I don't think the debate happened, but when he posted he's going to debate this Christian pastor, everybody kept tagging him on his page saying, "Why don't you stop debating Christian pastors that can't defend themselves and debate Ron Dalton?" And they were tagging him. All these comments. Polite, he responded to all of the comments that were like, "How can I watch the debate with the Christian apologetic? How much does it cost? When is it? I can't wait for this to go down." Yeah, all this other stuff. He was responding to all these other comments, but the ones where they were saying about debate Ron Dalton, debate Hebrew Sneakers, he wouldn't answer those comments. So then finally somebody said, everybody kept saying, "You're scared, you're weak, you don't want to debate true scholarship." So then finally he responded to one of the guys' comments, and he was like, and then I jumped in and said, "You're scared." I said, "You starting it and your crew, y'all just run from me." And so he's like, "Brother, no need to be no need to whatever," he said. And I said, "Well," he was like, "Brother," he was like, "DM me at my Instagram page, and we can see if we can make it happen." He said, "DM me." And I said, "Okay." I DM'd him that same day, like within minutes of him saying that to me, because I seen it because he tagged me, Ron Dalton, Hebrews Negros. I DM'd him and I said, I'm doing exactly what you said. I DM'd you. I said, "Here's my phone number. Here's my email." I said, "I'm ready to debate you anytime you want, anytime, any place, just like green eggs and ham, Sam I am. I was like, "I'll debate you anywhere." And he said, and I said, "The problem is," I said, "you guys run from me because you know that once we can prove in front of a large audience that we are not the children of Mitzrayim or Egypt or Kemet, and we are the Israelites, then your whole stilo's done. You're done. Like all your money, your followers, your fame, all that goes, like, it's laid to rest, put in a coffin, and we put the dirt over it, and it's done. R.I.P." And to this day, they, I still say on YouTube and Instagram, these guys won't debate. They're scared. Same thing with Vocab Malone. Same thing with Eric Mason. All these guys, they're scared. They're scared.
Let me jump in for a second. Can I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
Sonetta, you listening? Sonetta, you listening? Because I called you on the phone behind the scenes and you ain't do it. So now I got to do it in public. My man Ron Dalton wants that smoke. You said Jabari's the what is he? He's the champion, the Floyd Mayweather, the conscious community. My man Ron Dalton wants that smoke. What's up? You trying to bring Polite back? Y'all don't want to talk about the scamming and stuff. Okay, cool. My man Ron Dalton want that smoke. What's up? Garfield, you writing a book. My man Ron Dalton wants to smoke. What's up? Where you at?
Yeah.
What's up?
You see, the thing is what they always do.
Huh? Hey, one more. Vocab. You got Sonetta, because listen, you know I don't like you. Vocab, you know I don't like you. So you got Sonetta to call me this week to ask me to debate. Nigga, we already debated you We killed you. Me and Hashar, we already killed you. And that effeminate dude that you hang with, G Consciousness, we killed both of y'all dudes. So now you calling Sinetta because you want redemption. No. But you could debate my man Ron Dalton. No. He want that smoke. What's up? What's up? You don't know how to get a hold of him? Get a hold of me. I'll get a hold of him. You heard? That's it. That's all I got to say. Go ahead, Ron. I'm good.
See, the problem is that Vocab alone and these guys, they can do videos. Like Vocab does all types of videos, and he like says, "Oh, Ron Dalton, look at this guy, Ron Dalton, Hebrew Negroes. He has 46,000 followers. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. This has to stop." He's on here talking about we're the Israelites. He says all this stuff. He comments on my page, on my Instagram page. Then when I reply to his comment, he's ghost. He don't want to say nothing. You know, same thing with Eric Mason. They we got a team. We're gonna get a team to destroy you. We've been reading your books. We've been studying you guys, and we're going to come to you with a team. We're going to defeat you guys. I say it's a year later. I said, does it take that long to study a book, you know, and get a team? I said, well, that was a year later. What's going on, guys? And so even with like movies like Hidden Colors and Out of Darkness, what the thing is they'll do is they'll always show you pyramids of Nubia, pyramids of Egypt, and they'll show you pictures of black Egyptians, and they have African Americans looking up, and they say that's you. They got brown skin, they got afros. They look just like you. That's our ancestors. Not knowing that there's all types of black people in Africa. Are you gonna call the Tuaregs and the Hausas and the Fulanis and the Pygmy tribes running around in Africa? Are you gonna say, oh, that's our people too? I mean, they're black. They got afros. So the thing is, they take you to a level of scholarship that's like right here, and they don't go no further because they know that if they go to true scholarship, then people realize, well, these guys, we're not descendants of the ancient Egyptians and Nubians and Puttites and Canaanites. They just saying this stuff because they're brown skinned Afro people. I said there's people in Africa right now that will tell you that they are the real descendants of the Nubian and the Nubian and Egyptian kings, and it ain't us. Trust me, it's not us, and I can prove that scientifically, biblically, and it'll just be it'll be a quick win because really it doesn't take much to prove that we are the Israelites.
Hold on, Ron. Watch this. Because this always gets done to me. And you know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to do it to somebody else. 1 second. Hold on a second. Watch this. Hold on.
You going to call him?
He's damn right. He do it to me all the time. Don't run now. You always do it to me. Call me blindly. Don't run. Where you at, son? What's good? My man wants smoke. Running. You running.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you why he does that. This is the thing. I remember one time I was at a grocery store, and there was a guy, and the guy was in front of me, checking out his groceries, and he was talking to he had a kip on his head. He was talking to a Jewish lady that was in a motorized wheelchair, and they were like, oh yeah, they were talking about, you know, the Talmud, and I guess one of the rabbis at the synagogue that's down the street in the neighborhood. And I said, sir, I said, you got a kippah on. I said, are you an Israelite? He says, I don't understand what you're talking about. He said, I said, oh, you're not an Israelite? He says, no. I said, do you follow Judaism? He says, yes. I said, I see your ZT sign. He's like, yes. I go to the synagogue where this lady goes to. And she's like, yeah, we got an excellent rabbi. You know, he's a good rabbi. You should come visit sometimes. And I just laughed. And I said, well, you know what? I said, brother, I said, you are the original Israelite. You are the original Jew. I said, you don't need to wear that kippah. I said, you should be teaching her who she is and who you are. And he was like, I don't understand. He's like, I gave him a flyer because I always carry flyers on me. I said, this is my book. It's my movie, Hebrew Single. He's like, wow, what's this about? I said, it proves that the so-called Negro are the real Israelites of the Bible. And the Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews are converts. They're not the Israelites. They're not Shemitic. And I said, they come from Central Asia and other sources. And the Jewish lady was like, what do you mean? He said, we're not the real Jews. What are you talking about? So then I said, let me explain. And so I couldn't talk that long, but I broke it down to her, to the side and to him. And then she was like, wow. She's like, wow, everything you're telling me, it makes sense. She's like, you know what? I believe you. You need to have a discussion with my rabbi and come teach this at our synagogue. We have a large congregation. I think it was an Ashkenazi Sephardic synagogue. And so She was like, yeah, he'll hear what you have to say. You can talk to him. And I said, really? She said, yeah. And I said, okay. She gave me his email. I emailed I emailed him. He responded. He's like, how can I help you, sir? And I said, one of your members at your synagogue told me I should come to your synagogue and teach you about black people being a real Israelites and you guys being converts, you guys being imposters. Well, I didn't say imposters, but I said you guys being of another nation. You guys actually are converts or proselytes to Phariseeism or Judaism, and I'm gonna show you who the real Israelites are. And I could teach you this at your synagogue. He was like, well, no, I don't think that'll be a good idea. Thanks anyway. When I debate these rabbis out in public and in grocery stores and in post offices, wherever I see them at, I might say, shalom. I said, you getting ready for Passover? They're like, yes. How'd you know? I said, because I see all the cars and the matzahs and all that stuff. And when I usually talk to them, I destroy them. It could be just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And usually there'll be other people around them. They'll be like, hey, Rabbi, hey, Rabbi. The rabbis don't want to see them getting destroyed. The rabbis don't want to see their synagogue members seeing them getting destroyed by a black person with a black t-shirt on with a pick in his hair, destroying them, laying them out about Hebrew history and who the real Israelites, knowing more stuff than they know, because these guys don't know. They don't know the Torah like you think they do. They don't know about the commandments of the law. They don't know about history of the Israelites. They don't know anything really. To be honest, they don't know anything. So when you destroy them, they usually at that moment when they see you again, they go down the other aisle. They walk away. They put their head down. They try to avoid you, and that's how it is in my community. The Jews that I've talked to before, the rabbis, they ignore. They go the other way because they know that I destroy them around anybody that's around. And people have actually been like, you were right. You were so right. And they couldn't say anything but just spit and talk about Josephus. What about Josephus Flavius? I said, I don't care about Josephus Flavius right now. I said, I'm giving you straight truth. Oh, I'm a professor of Israeli studies at the University of Michigan. How dare you say this? I said, brother, I said, I'll debate you anytime, any place, anywhere. Give me your number. So Sa Netter, I'm not surprised he don't answer his phone because he ain't gonna answer his phone because they're scared.
They're not gonna answer the phone. And somebody told me to call Garfield. I don't have Garfield's number, but Mika, you in here? Tell your man Garfield, my man Ron Dalton want that smoke. What's up? And no, it's not gonna be on Garfield's platform. It ain't gonna be a fail-safe. No, sir, because you talk over people on your platform. No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? Let it be on a neutral platform, not mine, not yours, none of that stuff. None of it. But my man Ron Dalton is ready. You wrote a whole book saying the misconception of the Black Hebrew Israelites, which is a CIA term, by the way. The misconception of the Black Hebrew Israelites, which your book didn't drop yet. I'm waiting for that. Because I'm about to pop out. After you put your book out, I'm popping out too. But my man Ron want that smoke before your book comes out. So I ain't hard to find. Mika, tell your brother that Ron Dalton said he want that smoke, and he's not hard to find. You heard? You know what I'm saying? That's it on that, man. Ron, you got anything else to say about that?
I mean, they got to understand this. They got to understand that if they are black in America and they get their DNA test, the DNA is most likely going to show up somewhere in West Africa, and they can check 10 STRs, they can check 16, they can check SNPs, they can check autosomal, they can check maternal DNA, Y DNA, they can check all types of stuff. Your DNA is going to tell you who you are, and you can't tell me that the pharaohs of Egypt and the Egyptian people all migrated to West Africa so that the slave trades can happen, and in particular, the Egyptian people were put on slave ships can be scattered across the whole world. But yet, all these people that were scattered across the whole world, especially in the Americas, and the people that we come from in West Africa, the Bantu people, you see all these Hebrew elements in their traditions, their customs, their language, oral histories, maps. The list just goes on and on and on. And when people say, well, DNA is a white man's science. Well, actually, deoxyribonucleic acid, the building blocks of what we call DNA, is created by God. So how could you say DNA is a man-made thing? DNA is not man-made. DNA is in us. It's a part of us. It's part of God's creation. So if some woman said, I have a two-year-old child, you're the father. You'd be like, no, I ain't the father. You're gonna pay child support? No, I'm about to get a DNA test. So the DNA test is acceptable for black people when it determines their paternity, so they could die of child support, or they say, well, your blood was seen you had blood on your shirt that was found at the scene of the crime. You're the one that killed him. You're a suspect. No. Check the DNA. I'm not the one that did it. Check the DNA. So if you're facing 30 years to life, you're going to say, check the DNA. If you're facing child support for 18 years, you're going to say, check the DNA. And the thing that people don't understand is that genetics can be tested by anybody that has a degree in genetics. It don't have to be somebody working for Family Tree DNA or 23andMe or Ancestry DNA. It could be a regular person that studied genetics, that went to college and graduated. They'll tell you exactly how anybody can check their DNA and how we run it through a lab, and this is the results you're going to get. And it is what it is. It's part of you. It's part of your DNA.
Can you speak to some? I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a family, so I don't want to keep you too long. And you give me a lot of your time. I appreciate it. Can you speak to this whole E1B1A thing? Because I hear a lot about that. What is your thoughts on the E1B1A and the Israelites? If you want to speak on that a little bit.
Yeah. So the E1B1A is a haplogroup. So it's a paternal haplogroup that's seen from the father. So the father passes it down to the son, and then he passes it on to his son. And so we got to remember that the Israelites were a patrilineal society. If you look at Numbers, I think it's 118. I'm not sure, but in the book of Numbers, it said that the pedigree of the father, the pedigree of the children of Israel, based on the father's house. That means that if you wanted an inheritance, it had to go through the father. So the father had to have a son, and that son was of the tribe of Judah or tribe of Dan, Issachar, Zebulun. And then, of course, he will see that inheritance coming from his father. The things did not go by the mother, because we went by the mother. We know that Abraham had Hagar, the Egyptian. He had Sarah. He had the other lady, Keturah, and these are different nations. Coming from different parts. Different parts of the world. And we know King Solomon had many wives. He had Edomite wives and Moabite wives and Israelite wives, and you talk about Queen Sheba and Cush. So you do not go by the mother. You go by the father. The interesting thing is for the Israelites that went to Africa is that, one, they practiced polygamy, which was done in ancient biblical times, and they practiced a patrilineal society. So if that is the case, then the Israelites would have multiplied, because, one, they're not just marrying Israelite women, they're marrying women of other nations because they practice polygamy. It will see in the Bible. And then, two, they're keeping everything strictly with the father. This is why all throughout West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, you see the so-called Bantus people with the same DNA, E1B1A. So when you go to Brazil, you go to Cape Verde, when you go to Sao Tome, you go to Principe, when you go to Suriname and French Guyana, you go to Jamaica, you go to Haiti, you go to Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, you go to Antigua and Barbados, you go to Grenada. Even if you go to the Comoros Islands and these other islands where some people were sold as slaves during the Arab slave trade, you will see that we all, even African Americans, we have the same DNA, E1B1A. Why? Because the curse of Israel talks about the children of Israel being scattered to the four corners. And so when you look at us, say for instance, we have E1B1A. You look at the Pygmy tribes. The Pygmy tribes, they're little short black people. They have B. You look at the Nilots over in East Africa, like the Dinka, like Manute Bol, 7'7", and Shelik and Anuba and Anawaks, they have the Y DNA A. Why? Because they're a people group. They're a family. They come from an ancestral forefather that stayed in one area, whether it was Nubia or whether it was Central Africa or North Africa. The same thing with the Australian Aborigines. Go over to Australia. The Australian Aborigines, they migrated there as a group. And so when they landed in Australia, that group continued to multiply. You would expect them to all have the same DNA if they all come from the same lineage. So, or the same migration route or group of people that went that way. What do they have? They have the Y DNA C, one thing. But when you look at the Arab nations, you look at the white Jews, you look at Europeans, their haplogroups are all over the place. They've been mixing all over the place. They don't follow the Torah. It's not about the father with those people. They just go around conquering and having children here, having children there. They say, oh, you know what? I'm tired of worshiping the sky god. Tengri, I'm gonna worship Allah. No, I'm gonna worship white Jesus. No, I'm gonna worship Talmudic Judaism. And that's why you see that Islam is majority white races that have took over the black Arabs in the Middle East and North Africa. So the white Arabs or the white Turks, they converted. So when they converted to Islam, when a nation of people all of a sudden says, you know what, we're gonna worship the Quran and Allah, then that moment, if somebody was to record like a census of all the people that are now newfound Muslims, you will see that the black Arabs percentage will soon be overtaken by the white Arabs. Now, if you have the Khazars, and the Khazars are the I guess the proto ancestors of the Ashkenazi Jews. If the Khazarian kingdom all of a sudden say, you know what, we're gonna all start following the Torah, we're gonna follow Talmudic Judaism, we're gonna start calling ourselves Jews. And if somebody says, okay, we're doing a census on how many people follow Judaism and who declare themselves as Jews, then you will see the census of, say, for instance, Ethiopian Jews, black, which is like a small population, and then you have the Ashkenazi Jews just skyrocket overnight. Because why? Because a massive kingdom in one time of one decree said, you know what, the whole kingdom is going to follow Judaism, and so the numbers will just skyrocket. And this is the reason why most of worldwide Jewry is probably 95% Ashkenazi or 90% Ashkenazi. And you have a small segment that's Sephardic, and you have a little small segment that's the Ethiopian Jews that's in Israel right now. And so we have to understand that for us, E1B1A, if you go back to the root, and I'm gonna cut it real soon. If you talk to Nigerian Igbos, they say, well, your forefathers, your grandparents, what kind of food diet did they have? Well, and a lady told me that she lives in Nigeria right now in Abuja. She says, well, our elders, our grandparents, our forefathers, my grandfather told me that we cannot eat crayfish, shrimp, lobster, crab. We can only eat fish that had scales and fins on it. She said, we can't eat pork, we can't eat this, we can't eat duck, we can't eat this and that. He was basically naming off the biblical diet. She didn't have no Torah in her hand, she didn't have anything. And you also understand, a lot of the Nigerian Igbos, they may not be awoke like we are, but yet they know that their parents and their grandparents were taught Hebrew traditions and customs to the T, something that's not practiced in ancient Egypt. And guess what? If you check your DNA, you'll find out, hey, my DNA came back and says I'm 90% Nigerian. Well, guess what? You go look at some Nollywood movies. A lot of the Nollywood Nigerian actors are look just like black people. So we are them, they are us. So we got to understand these things. Like the E1B1A is a specific marker that connects us to the Bantus people of West Africa, especially West Africa. And if you really do the research on Bantu's history in Africa, where you're talking about the Kikongo, the Kisi, the Xhosa, the Zulu, the Mandingo, the Ewe, the Ashanti, the Ga, the Kru, whatever you want to call it, what you'll find out is their oral history tradition will connect back to Israel and then to Egypt and Sudan, where they stayed at until the Arabs came out. So E1B1A is an Israelite marker for Negroes or for black people that went into Africa, the Israelites that went into Africa, because the Israelites also scattered to the four corners. So there's some Israelites that went to the east, and that's a whole nother discussion. We talk about Papua New Guinea and Melanesia, Micronesia, Polynesia, all these other things, or the Native American Indians. There's a lot of things that people don't pay attention to, but in terms of the so-called Negro, we can connect everything together and how it lines up perfectly with the curses of Israel and the Bible and so forth. And this is what a lot of Christian pastors and community and Jews they tend to ignore. They don't want to hear nothing about this DNA stuff. They don't want to hear nothing about this stuff because it debunks a lot of the stuff they're saying right now. Man,
and that was off the top, family. Y'all saw how he just spit that out. That was a rapid fire off the top. Freestyle. You know what I mean? That's what it is, man. That's why I got love for this brother, man. And that's why I think a lot of dudes run from you, because I can't even imagine if you started opening up your PowerPoints and your sources, it's about to be a wrap.
It's gonna be game over when I do that.
Game over. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro, I know you got a family, you got your children, your wife, and everything. I don't want to take too much time from you. The platform is always open, so you always can come back, man. We didn't even get into the COVID thing. I don't know if you want to. I know you had talked to me before about you wanted to get into that whole COVID thing. I don't know if you want to say anything on that real quick before we go, but as a whole, I'm about to go live on that this week because I didn't came across some information. I'm about to go live on that this week. But go ahead, Ron.
But no, what I wanted to say instead of the COVID-19 is that we got to understand that as filmmakers, like me and Zahab Benjamin, we have to, especially with the celebrities, we need our own streaming platform. We need our own streaming platform where we're not under the terms of service. Whenever you try to submit a movie to Netflix or Vudu, even Vimeo on demand, they always update their terms of service depending on what's going on in the world. So you can see now they'll say, well, you can't show anything about homosexuality, about vaccine conspiracies, COVID-19 conspiracies, false flag conspiracies. These are things that when they update their terms of service, they have in there so that they can say your movie was talking about vaccines. We don't allow that. Your movie was talking about homosexuals. You were quoting Leviticus and thou shalt not lie with mankind. You said you can't do that. So these are things that control us from putting out truth. So we really need to have people with a lot of money to invest, or sponsors, or crowdfunders, or just people that, like you said, that want to be anonymous donors or shadow donors or avatar donors to help us get our own streaming platform, so that we can do that. And it's not that hard to do that. They got platforms that are out there, but right now a lot of people are streaming with Vimeo, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video Direct, and Netflix. And so that's where everybody's sending their stuff to, whether it's Nollywood, whether it's South African movies, they're sending their stuff to Netflix. We watching stuff on Netflix. You see African movies, Indian movies, European movies, Jewish movies. But when it comes to movies about Israelites and truth, this is the reason why a lot of movies are banned. A lot of theaters are banning people's movies. And so we need our own streaming platform. That's what I'm working on right now, trying to get our own streaming platform, or get a little bit of independence, so that when we keep putting out movies and documentary series, that we can just say, go to your Roku, download the Hebrew Sneagles app, and you got all the movies right there. That's it. No, I don't understand. I got to log in. I got to do this. No, download on Roku the Hebrew Sneagles app and just start watching. That's what we need.
Somebody asked if you are interested in putting your information on BitChute. I hear a lot about that. A lot of people are going over to BitChute. I don't know what you know about that, or if you're even interested in it. But.
Yeah, well, that's like YouTube. That's like YouTube, but with less restrictions. It's still like, YouTube censors everything. I'm not trying to give YouTube everything. People are gonna have to understand that when we do this, we sacrifice a lot. And I've been laid off of jobs. I've been cut hours and different things of that nature. And the spiritual warfare, the physical warfare is real. So a lot of the stuff that we do in terms of books and movies, we use that to feed our families and to make more movies. And so if we put everything on BitChute, a lot of people don't know about BitChute, and it don't have the same kind of power that YouTube has. If I say I put a video on BitChute, but then somebody can put a video on YouTube, they might have 250,000 views on YouTube, and then BitChute might have like 50 views. So we want the masses to get this information. And although BitChute is kind of new, they are kind of gaining ground. But I haven't put any videos like YouTube videos put it on BitChute because I'm just I'm waiting to YouTube just bans me completely, and I guess then I'll go to BitChute.
Right. All right, Ron. Well, before you go, man, I want to give you the last word, man. I want you to plug, if anybody wants to support you financially in what you're doing, where can they donate? Any information that you want to give the people just in general to find you for more, just go ahead and
Yep, they can support. You can go to Cash App at $Hebrews 2 Negroes, Negroes, or you can go to PayPal.me / the Negro Network, TheNegroNetwork, or you can go to GoFundMe.com and search the Curses of Israel. No, search Hebrew Sneagles 3, because that's the biggest production movie I'm working on. I'm trying to work on right now, Hebrew Sneagles 3. And if you wanna send me a donation through mail, like a money order check, you just gotta email me at yahoo.com, HebrewsToNegroes@yahoo.com. Because we got people in the trenches fighting. I'm fighting in the trenches, and we always need support from the millions of Black people that agree with this truth and they want to support, even if it's just $1 or $5. We gotta understand that if you got, for instance, this is real talk. If you got 300 Israelites and they save up $6,000 in 1 year, they say, you know what, all three was 300, like just like movie 300. All 300 of us, we're gonna save up $6,000 in 1 year time span, 12 months. At the end of 12 months, if 300 Israelites all save those 6,000, that's $1.8 million. That's $1.8 million. That just only 300 Israelites. You got some camps and organizations that have 300 Israelites a part of their members. But when you see what can $1.8 million do in America, what can $1.8 million do in Ghana or Togoland or Benin or Senegal, Gambia? It can do a lot. It can do a lot, but we don't have no unity. And so I always tell people to support those, trying to push for this truth and they're trying to push for projects that unify us and put us in a better position than where we are here in Babylon, America, or Egypt, America. And that's real. It's only takes 300. And if If you say 600, now the obligation is 3,000 a year. So if you say you have 600 Israelites and all they do is come up with $3,000 in 12 months, that's still $1.8 million. We got to stop being stingy and start thinking about a nation and being a family and helping one another and building projects that other nations are building, like the Chinese and the Jews and the Indians and the Arabs. Man, they're doing big things in Detroit, big things with money, and we don't have any money, so we just patronize them and we work for them.
Yeah, somebody said you have a webinar this weekend. I didn't know anything about that. You want to plug that?
Oh yeah. Webinar.
Shout out Dwayne Yosef. Yeah, shout out Dwayne Yosef.
Yeah, it's on next Saturday and Sunday, the 25th and the 26th. The end is here, part 2, Zoom webinar. It's on Zoom. If you wanna sign up for that, you got to go to eventbrite.com and then search the keywords. The end is here, and then you can sign up for one day on Saturday or a Sunday, and we're gonna cover a lot of information that people need to see.
Hey Ron, man, you leaving stuff out. Your man Dwayne Yosef, tell him thank you, bro. He's putting all your joints in the comments. You going to Ghana next year or something? You ain't say that. What's up? You going to Ghana next year?
It's a lot of doing. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we doing the God Box spiritual pilgrimage to Ghana next year, 2021, July, the end of July, the beginning of August. And we got two tour companies that are bringing Israelites back to Ghana. And what we're doing is we're going back to build community and to get land, free citizenship, dual citizenship, so we can still continue to get money in America and do import-export trade back and forth the way that Marcus Garvey envisioned it, and just kind of have an alternate to America, because America is gonna get wild in the next couple of years. I can only imagine what else is gonna happen in the spiritual Egypt, the religion living in America. And so a lot of African Americans are really thinking about relocating to the motherland, whether it's Gambia, whether it's Senegal, whether it's Ghana, whether it's South Africa or Kenya. A lot of African countries and people within these countries, the bounty people, they're already setting up provisions for us, land for us. They're buying land for us and getting things ready, farmland, so that when we come on the scene and we are actually there with help. We got help with our physical hands. We got help with our mind. We got connections. We got everything that we've learned from the westernized education in America, and we bring all these tools back to Africa with our brothers and sisters that we were taken from, that have the same DNA as us. If we unite and we all stay on one accord, and we can do big things. So that's happening next year, July. At the end of July, you can register for this trip at my website, www.thenegronetwork.com. Scroll down all the way to the bottom, and then click on the link to register to get to the website. The website is www.godboxtours.com, GODTOURS.com, godboxtours.com. And so you can register for $300 for you and your wife, and it's a package deal that pays for your hotel, your transportation, your airplane ticket, your visas, all that stuff. So right now we got over about 350 Hebrews that signed up to go next year. So as long as COVID-19 doesn't keep things shut down and people get their passports, then we're going to come over there with hundreds of people.
Blessings, man. Well, Ron, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure. I need to have you on more than I do, but I know you got a busy schedule, and so do I. A lot of times when I go live, it's impromptu, and I know with you and I, we got to plan it out. So I appreciate you coming on and dropping this information on the family. And anytime that you have a new project, I'll be sure to have you back on here, family. Just stay tuned. Make sure y'all subscribe to the brother's channel, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube as well, and support this brother, man. He's doing great things, for Israel. So with that being said, bro, you can go ahead and see yourself out. I'm about to end the stream.
All right. So thank you for having me, and thank you for supporting me. You guys are real brothers that stand up and support, and that's what we do. We need to do more.
Day one, man, because you supported me from day one. And even some of the people I support don't support me back. People I big up don't big me up back, but I don't do it for that. I do it for the love. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is going to reward me in the end, so it's all good. Hey, bro, so love, we'll talk, all right? Most High bless you.
All right, shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
No.
All right, family. So that's what it do. Thank y'all for watching. Of course, I appreciate that. Make sure you hit the like button. If you've been sitting here soaking up that information, you didn't hit the like button, shame on you. And before we go, as always, I got to do some business. My man Ron has definitely also been working with the brothers Ahab behind the scenes on getting certain portions of his film done. We're trying to get this to you, brothers and sisters, as soon as possible. So every time I go live, I'm going to play it and keep it in mind that this is coming.
I feel like I'm hurting myself.
You and I both know you weren't discharged. That was a cover.
All they require is just a small sacrifice.
I'm gonna die anyway.
Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? I see.
That's coming soon, family. That's coming soon, along with the documentary, man. Look out for the documentary, man. We got a lot of powerful brothers. That's a short film and a documentary that's coming soon. And Brother Ron has been behind the scenes helping the brothers together, man. Two brothers making films, trying to do this for Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's the next bastion. We already conquered the music thing, right? So now the next thing is films, man. So these are two brothers that's doing it, supporting it. And if anybody else does films and everything, then, you know what I'm saying, contact us and we work together with brothers that's doing it. And let's take that over next, man. We need to control our own image and we need to tell our own story. Because if we wait for somebody else to tell it, they ain't going to tell it. And if they do tell it, they're not going to tell it right. Last but not least, I'm about to play the joint I played earlier. If you support your brother, Priest Daniela, go to my website, wakeupjacob12.com, and download a song. It's only 99 cents. Show support. I'm constantly trying to do my thing for Israel as well. I love all of y'all, and I'll be back tomorrow. I got some fire tomorrow. I'm about to be talking some shit tomorrow. Let y'all know that now. We gonna stay on the devil's neck. You heard? I'll be back tomorrow. Most I will. I love y'all. Go to my website, support me. Peace out, Israel. Shalom.
The gyms are closed. I gotta get this aggression out. Let's go. I describe myself as cold with a conscience. Can't roll with the nonsense. Don't mistake the cover of the book for its contents. I might show you kindness, swear with the piranhas. Things that we forget tend to come back and remind us. Like we all have a past we want to put behind us. Designed to be good, but evil always seems to find us. A man can only change the things he acknowledges. Lust is Peter's flame, but skills over politics won't be the same. What really has me stressing out? The gyms are closed, so I can't get this aggression out. Before we get the promises, there must be a fence up. The Bill Gates of hell won't prevail against us. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. Say my prayers. Thank God for blessing me. My life's an open book. Could that be why they're testing me? Maybe everything I do is done out of necessity. Stock is on the rise. I think you should invest in me. It's not strange. I'm money like blockchain. Except the things in life that I cannot change. Chant down Babylon. Payback is coming. I ain't LeBron James. You thought I came back for nothing? The game is canceled in the blink of an eyelash. Flow is sick. Grab your N95 mask. The new normal, it gets even scarier. All black and white, there is no gray area. Plain as day, we got the whole package, baby. Competition, their rhymes are all average. And that's my 16, nothing else to say, y'all. 5G